Welcome to the world of Love Them Knives. Yeah, LTK here. Finally, I got the Crux in. It's like my buddy in New York. Of course, he's come out of the East Coast, right? So he's like, I got mine today. I looked at my FedEx thing that Massdrop sent me. These are from Massdrop. These are a knife made by We Knives. I better give the intro, right? These knives are designed by Ferrum Forge. They are manufactured in China by We Knives. And they are here in the United States now, but they were offered through Massdrop. Massdrop.com. If you're not familiar with them, check them out. They're always coming up with a knife on order, but they do like anywhere from all kinds of things. Men's accessories, shoes, belts, fidget toys, whatever, knives, anything and everything, key fobs, whatever. So it's interesting. There's always something, and they drive me crazy because there's like 3 or 4 drops that hit my inbox a day. It's amazing. In any case, the Ferrum Forge Falcon came up in, I guess, April of 2017 on a Massdrop, and you could sign up, and everybody's like, oh, Ferrum Forge, that's the brothers, and they make awesome stuff, and so this is a way of getting one of their knives that is a blessed knife, one that's authorized, but it's being made in China by We Knives, which makes wonderful knives, of course, and so you get a great high-end manufacturer that can do great tolerances and everything, fit and finish. You get a design from these wonderful knife makers, and you get it for a great price that you can afford. So $125. $125, See, this is cheaper per pound right here, this one. It's a bigger knife, so better deal. Make a 10-inch one for $125. In any case, so these are both wonderful designs, but I've already done a review on this, but I just wanted to throw this one up so you could see like the difference in the size. See, the Falcon's much smaller knife. This would be kind of an interesting knife to see at like 3.8-inch blade, like maybe 9 inches overall or 8 3/4 overall. It would be pretty cool. These knives I also decided to put up together because it'll be the last time they see each other, probably. I've already got one guy going, you want to sell that? Yeah. Hey, when that Crux comes in. So I think they might go pretty quick once I get done with this review. And yes, we always have to move on to the next. And only a few can I keep in my bucket list collection, I guess is what I'm calling it. And some knives from my bucket list have actually gone away. But I keep my list because I know I want them back someday. Another one just like it. So in any case, these are interesting. After you've had this in your hands for a while, and after you've had the Falcon in your hands for a while, they are titanium frame lock flippers. They have S35VN steel blades, okay? Satin grind. This is a very Seeable size knife, and this one here is very Seeable because it's a smaller knife, Once you've gone forward into the choil, you've got room. Otherwise, not so much. This one, you've got room, okay, without even having to go forward. You notice the choil here? It's not really perfectly round. It kind of comes and then draws out this direction. See the difference there? Interesting why they did that. I don't know. This feels very natural and comfortable to put your finger in. This one's a little different feel to it. It's not uncomfortable, but it's a different feel to this here. more or less kind of makes your finger draw back in here and not so much up front. So a different distribution, I guess, but it's nice for all those people that like to sharpen their knives to have a sharpening choil, and so that's what you get. Now, how big is this knife? How fat is it? It's a 1/2 inch wide and about 4mm blade stock, it looks like. Yeah, just about. So that's the Crux. I think the Falcon was pretty much the same, and I'm going to put the link to this. Yeah, 12.6, so that'd be about 1/2 inch, which is what it is. And let's try and get the blade in here. Dummy. So yeah, pretty close to 4mm blade stock as well. So it looks like we're pretty much in the same territory that way. Both of them feel fairly light in the hands. This one has a backspacer with an integrated lanyard hole. So does this one. Both of them have a nice slender pocket clip that looks almost interchangeable. In fact, they might actually be. And it looks like the hardware is interchangeable as well, actually. Yes, and of course, tip up right hand or left hand because you got that extra screw. So you got this screw here, but you can pop them out. You can change this over here and just bring that one screw with you. For the second hole, do it both. Right hand, left hand, tip up, carry. Nice design, really clean, linear design. The action's really good. It's easy to disengage the lock bar. The detent is pretty respectable. It's a snappy flipper as opposed to like the swinging gates. Like, ooh, I'm coming out. You know, the old gates are swinging. Finally gets there. This is bam. You know, it's just like there is no in between with this thing. So could you fail it? Yeah, I think I can fail any knife. There you go. But it's a little tougher too because the detent is that way. And I have heard from some people that they have had various experiences with the Falcon as far as detent goes. Some not so good. Some people kind of talking about maybe the QC wasn't quite up to the Wii knife standards, up to snuff. That somebody got in a hurry, they were ahead of schedule, so proud of that, but maybe they needed to check each knife a little bit more carefully. These, luckily, are aces up, centered, detent's just fine, you know. And I was looking through here, and I'd look at the detent ball, which looks black. And I think to me that means that it's a ceramic bearing, which if the detent ball is ceramic, probably bearings are too. And you know, Wii knives, they use ceramic bearings all the time. So I'm going to imagine ceramic bearings, ceramic detent ball as well. Backspace, I mean, there's nothing really overly exotic being done here, is it? You don't really have a contoured scale. It's flat. Bead blast. Not terribly expensive to do, is it? No milling or fancy work or no decorative pivots, no titanium or anodized hardware or any kind of little milling or design cues on the pocket clip or, you know. Now, this is a very straightforward, utilitarian, and clean design. It reminds me of some of the European knife makers too. You know, that kind of very clean, very unobstructed, but a design that flows. You can see you're not looking at the back of a knife blade here. it's lost in here. The lines continue. Looks like pretty efficient use of the entire length of the scale of the knife with the blade. So yeah, this one's like 3.4 inch blade before we get too lost in our imaginings here. So 3 3/8 right there. As you move down here, you know, it depends on what you want to talk about. The back of the choil or just the actual cutting edge is only 3 inches. But, you know, you come, you know, up here to mid choils, 3 3/8. So they're saying 3.4 inches. Overall, 7 5/8, which is over 19 centimeters. And of course, you've got about 80, you don't quite have 90 centimeters, 90 millimeters. You got like 85, 86 millimeter length blade, depending on where you're measuring, what part of this scale you're measuring to. See what I'm saying? So there's actual paperwork. Massdrop did these, and here's kind of the cleanup paperwork on this that you can, you know, pause and read. Well, you guys saved a lot of money. If you'd have paid $1 million a knife, just think how much more you'd have paid. Whatever. That's a little too much hype for me. But 125 per knife. You know, I mean, that's reasonable. I mean, you're not getting anything fancy. You're getting S35VN. You're not getting any fancy pivots, no fancy milling, no, you know, nothing too busy and difficult to do. So, in any case, but, I mean, you got to like the design. I mean, you don't have to, but I do. I did. That's why I ordered these. I don't order much from Massdrop. But yes, this kind of stuff, yeah, absolutely. Yes, I do. Custom field at a production price. And you can pause and read this thing. And, you know, it's all over but the crying. $124.99. So when I got the Falcon ordered, then here comes the Crux, and I go, well, I got to do that. So there's your kind of, you know, if you go on the site, and I'll give you the link down in the description section for both the Crux and the Falcon, so you can click on that link and it'll take you and it'll show you. I mean, when they came out with the Falcon and that drop was done and then the knives come, all of a sudden here got reposted because they must have made extra units. So I think they posted it again. They sold a bunch of units off, which was probably just a continued run that they had made. I don't know that that'll happen with the Crux or not, and as of late November 2017, I haven't seen that. So, just saying. You know, you get to see, they show you some of the other models that Ferrum Forge has done, which are, you know, very much in line with what models these are, and that kind of thing. So, just thought I'd let you know, yeah, and there's the brothers, and there's your specs, ceramic bearings, ceramic detent ball, all that kind of stuff, and your overall length, blade length, weight, 4.3 ounces, that kind of deal. And you're back to square one. And I don't think we put them under the test, but we're going to now. We're gonna now. Okay. What do you think? Probably 4.3, since they said that right there in the paperwork. It's like, dude, are you gonna have a problem? 121 grams. So it's always nice to check. You never know. Sometimes, I mean, we've caught them before, haven't we? We have caught them once. We've caught them twice. Not necessarily the Ferrum Forge or the Massdrop thing. I'm just saying. Blade HQ and others, it'll have something. So 3.6 on this one, which is 102 grams. So, wow, that's pretty light. The Falcon's pretty light. But, you know, both of them are pretty light. Pretty carryable. Nice knives. Interesting designs. What do you think? I mean, backspacers are just ho-hum, aren't they? Pocket clips. But, I mean, in that way, you've got that clean look, don't you think? unobstructed, lines flow. They thought about things like at least the choils. Ergonomics are well done here, you know, for your fingers, palm swell, all that, the curvature of the back spine like that to meet your palm. And reverse grip, comfortable too. There's no hot spots here. There's no blade play or lock rock on any of my knives, and they were centered up. Detent's pretty good. I mean, there's no way I'm going to gravity flip this thing. Or that one. For sure, that one's even tougher, detent. But this one is, at least you got a flipper tab, and I know sometimes they get a little obnoxious because they get so tall. This one's, thank God that's all it is, because any taller it might be almost a little obnoxious. But, you know, it's really, that jimping on top of there really hits you at the right place. It's really grabby. I had a friend who thought it might have was a little too grabby. I don't feel that way. I think that's good. And, you know, it's a no-brainer type flip. It's easy to engage. You don't have to look at it to know where it is. You could do this without looking anywhere near the knife. It's just becomes a fidget fun toy. But yeah, it's very effective in that regard. And I'm sitting here like people are going to go, well, but what is that detent? How tough is it? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's solid. I don't know. I mean, I'd give it a 6.5. I'd give it that. Maybe almost approaching a 7. Pretty snappy. Not as incredibly tough as this one is. This one's just a tad stronger in the detent world. But will they be a knife? Well, let's find out. Will they be a knife? Okay. They can be a knife. So, and I probably already did this on the other video, but I like having them together. Yeah, really good. Good and sharp. I mean, you know, hey, if you're going to have somebody in China make your knife, WE Knives is not a bad choice. Not at all. But, you know, like I'm saying, let's throw this in just for consideration here. You know, now you're talking about contoured scales, see? Thinner here and here than in the middle. Contoured, a lot more machining, fancier pivot, you know, anodized, you know, and then, you know, that kind of thing. There's just more finish work done here. This is not bead blasted. A little bit more sophisticated look. A little bit more finished, really. Now, I don't know what the hell. These things sell for like 100 and depends on where you get them, like 160 or something like that. So they're more expensive, but I'm just trying to point out, yeah, these are a lot more basic. If you're just looking head to head like that. Of course, this is a Bladesmith series too. I mean, this is not Kaiser's design. This is Uli Hennecke. So, you know, he's a, I believe, German designer. So, I mean, you got designer inspired. Basically, both are like Bladesmith because it's the, you know, the Bladesmith's design and a Chinese maker. So, interesting. This has a different feel to it, a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more refined, I'd say. It's really strange and just depends on how you like them. This one's just really very standard and basic, but very clean. I'm trying to identify like a, you know, a Scandinavian designer or something that would do this. Seems so that way to me. In any case, yes. Worth $124.99 or $95, whatever? Yes. Yeah, interesting. You get the pouch with it, and I'll tell you what, that was, here. thank God you got a pouch. Massdrop cloth. Boy, they love to get their name on everything, don't they? And, of course, you know, who's this? Oh, it's Massdrop. Thank you for putting Ferrum Forge in there. And you know what? These boxes, I mean, it's so funny because they get these knives in and then they tell you, oh, the knives have arrived and we're going to check them for quality and blah, blah, blah before we ship them out. Really? So what are you going to do? Walk around on them? I mean, these boxes were freaking practically destroyed when they came in the mail. They were like that, crushed, come in a padded envelope, which is not so bad, but these are not crush-proof boxes. These are just like, you know. So it was like, what was the quality control thing you were trying to do? I mean, I pulled this thing out of the slip cover, you know, the little plastic, and it was wet with oil. It just, you know, nobody pulled it out and checked it. I don't think Massdrop does that. I think they're just trying to make sure they got names and addresses that could match up, and so they could get their batch shipped out. And I think it took them some days to do that. Other than that, no, I don't think they checked much of anything. So, I mean, I'm not putting them down. I'm just like, don't tell me things like that, because I just say, they came in and we got to get names and addresses figured out and shipping stuff, and we'll get to you, you know, that kind of thing. So, I'm going to let you go. I hope you got to see the knife. Sometimes I get so caught up in what I'm doing that I don't give you guys the opportunity to really, truly look at the knife, and I apologize for that. If that is the case, you know, let me know if you want a longer look, more comprehensive somehow than what I'm doing. I already got nagged at by Daniel, who lives over in Europe, and he's like, dude, you show this part of the knife, that's it. Show this part, turn it over, not just the presentation side, but this side too. So, we're trying to cover all the bases for you. Hopefully you got a good look at the knives. I guess that's the most important thing. See them function, flip in your hands, and maybe a discussion about why, what, you know, the kinds of materials, kind of how it feels. Trying to give you a little bit more of a visceral, you know, feel for what this knife is before you get one. If you get one. I mean, on the secondary market, obviously, they've sold out. But, you know, just for your curiosity, you know they'll be floating around here and there. So, in any case, thank you so much for joining us on Love Them Knives channel. Stay current with us. We have Trader's Corner every month. On the 10th, we're going to do it. We did it November 10th. We're going to do it on December 10th. We have a pass-around group where we pass knives around. You want to be part of that? Let me know. That's already happening. It's already like third or fourth guy down. I broke the group into 2 segments, and we're already 2 or 3 guys down in the group of 6 or 7 per group. So it's flowing. And Trader's Corner, table sales as well. So got a lot of things going on, because you know what we do on this channel. We love them knives, so stay sharp.